This is going to be a quick video about composition. First of all, you need to know the elements of art versus the principles of design. The elements of art are those things that artists use to make art. So if you're an artist, you could draw a line, or you could add a color, or you could use light or dark color, that's value. You could make something look deep or shallow, that's space. Texture, which is something that looks like it has a feel to it. So if you're painting a dog or a cat, making it look furry would be using an implied texture, a texture that's not really there. It's just paint, but it's texture. Or you could actually include real hair, and that would be real texture. And then there's shape and form, and you should know the difference between the two. Shape is something that's flat. Form is something that is three-dimensional. So given that, are you a shape or are you a form? Well, forms are three-dimensional. That means that they have height as well as width as well as depth. So do you fit into that category, or are you flat like a piece of paper? The answer, of course, is that you are a form. If we cut out a piece of paper in the shape of a circle, that's a shape. If we had a softball, for example, that would be a form. If we had a triangle, that would be a shape. If we had an ice cream cone, that would be a form. If we had a square, that would be a shape. If we had a box, that would be a form. Now you know the elements of art. But the elements of art are just that, they're elements. In order to create a successful work of art, you have to also know where to put those elements. To successfully create a composition, you need to know what the rules are, and the rules are the principles of design. And they are emphasis, balance, movement, variety, unity, harmony, proportion, and rhythm. We're going to focus on the first three, emphasis, balance, and movement, as we move forward in trying to understand composition. So make sure that you understand these three because they're probably the most important. Before we go forward, we need to understand what a composition is. A composition is always a group of elements. What are elements? Line, form, shape, value, texture. Remember those? A group of those brought together to create an organized whole. If it's not a group of those, then you do not have a composition. So a good composition will contain all the principles of design on this checklist. And so we're going to look at those first three. Emphasis, first place your eyes want to go in a picture. That is your area of emphasis. Sometimes it's called a focal point. If I walked into the room wearing a big yellow hat, that would probably be the first place that you looked. That would be the area of emphasis. Movement. Movement is the direction that your eyes will go while you're looking at a picture, while you're looking at a composition. The way your eyes go actually is determined by the artist and the kind of composition that the artist created. Remember, artists are in control of where the area of emphasis is, and they're also in control of where your eyes are going to go in their picture. Finally, balance. Balance is very simply when a composition doesn't look as though it's going to tip one way or the other because it's heavier on one side than the other. So as the artist, you are intending to create an environment where someone can look at your work and not feel uncomfortable. When your work is unbalanced, it does make people feel uncomfortable. So you should always seek to create balance.